Hello everybody, this is Brother James Lake coming to you with another episode of The Simple Truth. This is our fourth episode. And today we're going to be talking about a few basic things, especially since we're dealing with the impeachment trial of the President Donald Trump of the United States. As many of you know, I am an avid Trump supporter. If you follow me on Twitter, Brother Lake on Twitter, that's me. You can follow me, and we will be talking about that along with some other musings off the top of my head today. We need to get ourselves ready for what's going to be going on. I want to say hello to everybody, and if you would like to subscribe, please click the subscribe. Please tell your friends. I would deeply appreciate it. If you would like to support the podcast or support whatever we do here in the Sunday sermons and other Bible studies and things we're going to be bringing you soon, you can click on the link in your description, the PayPal link in the description, and you can give there. I deeply appreciate it. I do want to say hi to all of our friends who are in the queue. I want to say hi to all of you. God bless you. I'm grateful that you're out there. If you're following Martin Geddes on Q out of the UK, the man is a genius and a wonderful QAnon and has a lot of information and stuff, so I do point you in that direction. I don't claim to be a QAnon. I'm not. I follow it so that I can get information that hopefully I can bring to all of you through Twitter and other social media like this. But on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we are going to have basically a show. It's going to be the trial of the century, and the entire world is going to see it. That's what Mr. Bannon, Steve Bannon, is calling it, the trial, of the century. We have, for the second time in most of our lifetimes, if you're over 30, you have been at least alive when William Jefferson Clinton was impeached but not removed. And now we are alive and watching the Democrats do some really crazy stuff. So we need to understand that there's a few things as they go along. First of all, they've already appointed the House managers. The president has now appointed his legal team. There's all kinds of speculation why certain people weren't put on, and they're not trying to turn the Senate into this big, circus. So I do believe with Mr. Wray and Judge Ken Starr, who were former federal prosecutors of the Clinton impeachment and prosecution, special counsel, at the time. They were special and independent counsel at the time. They are really heavy hitters to come in for the president to say, this isn't right, what's going on. You need to understand that each side's going to get 24 hours. They're claiming they're going to want to steamroll this possibly to get that 24 hours done as fast as possible. And then after each side gets 24 hours, so the prosecution will go first, then the defense, then there's going to be 16 hours of questions. So everybody has to sit still and be quiet as each part takes place. And we're going to have to be a little bit patient. You're going to get angry all over again. You're going to be mad at Adam Schiff, and they're going to lie again and again and again. This is not a legal court. It's not a legal court. And in the end, no matter what you see that happens, there needs to be 67 votes to remove the president. 67. That's it. You got to have 67 votes to get rid of him. They don't have that. They know they don't have that. The Republican Party, as we know it, would cease to exist if that happens. And this president could go third party then because he could run again. Whether anybody likes it or not. He could run again and go third party, possibly. So, We need to keep that in mind. So after Adam Schiff and them get to lie again, and what they're doing now with their friends in the media is they're trying to backdoor a lot of evidence and a lot of stuff that doesn't matter. Remember what they did to Judge Kavanaugh? They brought in all these people to make these horrible accusations, and they had nothing on Judge Kavanaugh. Well, the same thing's happening now. And they're trying to bring in a man named Lev Parnas, a Ukrainian, that was working with Rudy Giuliani, has associations with Rudy Giuliani. And Rudy was over there trying to find out, while the president was being investigated for Russia, and they were getting ready possibly to impeach him over some phony Russia nonsense, Rudy was doing his job as an attorney, trying to find out all kinds of garbage going on over in the Ukraine by the Bidens. And there's a ton of it. If any of you have been following Dan Bongino this past week, Dan Bongino has done a great job on his podcast. I really do mean this. Go look at the Dan Bongino show. I can't do what Dan does. Dan, this entire week, linked every single aspect of everything together to show you what they're hiding over here, 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 and how all of these people know each other. And it's funny because after Mr. Bongino's podcast, I understood when Rudy Giuliani said about, was it 2 weeks ago, I'd like to try the case, and I would go after racketeering. He wanted to go after racketeering. And after I saw what Dan Bongino did this past week, linking everybody and showing how they all know each other, from the Russian investigation, going into the Ukraine, going into Russia, an amazing web and some amazing work that's been done by a lot of people between Twitter and a lot of people that we enjoy in Fox News and other places have done some amazing work, but they're out there. They're out there. Also, John Solomon is starting a new news outlet, so I like news outlets. There's another one called America's Voice, so John Solomon has a new one, and then there's another one called America's Voice, where you can get a lot of information and news and podcasts, video podcasts that you like. Just trying to pass along some information so that you can get and absorb as much as you can. But in my humble opinion, if you're not watching The War Room Impeachment, The War Room Impeachment is on at least 2 times a day. You can find it here. That's with Stephen K. Bannon, Jason Miller. These are names that you know. Mr. Bannon is a brilliant man, a populist is what he is. God bless him. I love him. He's a nationalist populist. He's a good man, and I really do like him. I like him a lot, and I do encourage you. And you don't have to agree with everything that they say, but you've got to take what you know you can understand, so that at least if you hear something, you go, you know what? I'm not ignorant, and I don't know what's going on. So these people are trying to backdoor information in. That's what the Democrats are trying to do now. When you see Adam Schiff, this is what federal prosecutors do. If they can't get you directly, they will go through every single thing, because at any given moment there's at least 10,000 ways that you, the common citizen, that's you, have broken some type of federal law. They want you. They want you. Once they got their hooks into you, and once they decide that they're going to prosecute you, they're not there to turn around and lose. They need that notch on their belt. And if you would understand that every single federal prosecutor operates the way Adam Schiff does, don't end up in federal court, because if you do, they got the entire weight of the federal government. The entire weight of the federal government. They have a 95 to 98% conviction rate. They lean on you, and I know I've been there. I was wrong. But there is no way to defend yourself or explain. And you really do end up doing a lot more time than you possibly need to. So, when I know and I see people dealing with certain things, I go, ugh. When I know for a fact that what they did was against the law, I know that no matter what they do, when that federal prosecutor gets a hold of you, or state prosecutor or local, they see you as guilty first. You need to understand that. The law sees you as guilty, not innocent until proven guilty. They see you as guilty. Guilty, 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 guilty. You need to understand that. And if they can't prove the first thing, they're going to come at you 6 ways from Sunday, which is why they try to get you to plead first. So Adam Schiff used to be a federal prosecutor. He is lying and doing the things that federal prosecutors do all the time. They lie. They lie through their teeth to get things done. If they have to, sorry, but it's true. So they're going to get 24 hours, but they're going to have to look at these 7 dwarfs, these morons. I can't believe that Nancy Pelosi doesn't understand that Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff repulse the American people. Repulse. Ugh. Oh, oh. That's what happens when you see these two. Ugh. What is that? People don't want to watch, and they're not going to want to listen to any one of the 7 drone on. One of them's not even a lawyer. She's a cop. She's a former cop. And being part black, I get a little bit upset because I keep watching the Democrats do this, they got to throw that person up there. They got to put that black person up there to make it look diverse. She has no business being there because she's not an attorney and she has no ability to prosecute anything. She doesn't know what the heck she's doing. Sorry, she doesn't. I got to listen to her speak during all these hearings. She's an imbecile. She's dumb. Sorry. She's dumb. The congresswoman is dumb, who is one of the federal prosecutors. Sorry, she's stupid. That's it. But then after 24 hours, you're going to get the president's side. And they're going to get to present some things. And I think you might see a person or two change on his team in the meantime. You may or may not. But don't listen to these people that say, oh, we got to have Jim Jordan. They're going to be in the background as they're making their case, as the Democrats are trying to prosecute. These gentlemen are going to be able to help and say, hey, look, this is where they're wrong. The president's not stupid. He's not throwing away Jim Jordan, and he's not throwing away any of these great people that have helped and who can name all these facts off the top of their head. They're going to comb through everything Adam Schiff says. And trust me, they're going to be ready. Jay Sekulow is not an idiot. Jay Sekulow is going to eat their lunch. He understands what's going on. He knows the world is watching, but he knows the country is watching. I really don't care if the rest of the world is watching. I want the American people to see that their president was protecting them. And listen, in that phone call to the Ukraine, in that phone call with the Ukrainian president, our president did not bring up Rudy Giuliani. The president of the Ukraine brought up Rudy Giuliani. And Hunter Biden could be needed to prove, because he is at the epicenter of all this corruption. Again, if any of you got to see show 1160 of the Dan Bongino show, he puts this together, how all these people are on a board, and there's so many of them, and they're all tied together. And if you pull one string, if you squeeze, and that's what federal prosecutors really do, they squeeze. So when you got Rudy Giuliani, who was the #1 prosecutor in the country at one time in the Southern District of New York, he took down the mob when I was young. The man took down corporate crime. He took down Wall Street. The man's got over 4,000 convictions on his belt. That's a federal prosecutor. He knows what he's doing. And he said he would like to prosecute the case, literally in federal court. He wants to go after all of them in a massive corruption. But you're not going to get that until they're done, and they're going to get to tell the same lies and possibly introduce new lies. Then after both sides get their say, you're going to get the senators themselves are going to get to ask questions. They have to sit there quietly, and they got to write their little question on a paper, and they got to pass it up, and then the chief judge has got to sit there and read the paper and pass it along. It's going to be crazy. Now, the last time this happened, it took 6 weeks, and they didn't really have witnesses, but they did. But they had to depose some people. And what I do like is what Ted Cruz is saying is, excuse me, they might end up doing a 1-for-1. Now, if they really want, if the Democrats want witnesses, I'm telling you, oh, you don't know what John Bolton's going to say. Now, you know Mick Mulvaney is not going to sell out the President of the United States. But I don't think John Bolton, being a lifetime Republican, really wants to be the man who takes down Donald Trump. Nobody wants to be that person in history on the Republican side. Nobody wants to go down as a Benedict Arnold. He does want to sell some books. And he is the warmonger of the highest order, but I don't think personally that that's what he wants to. Now, I could be wrong. Who knows? But if they get him, Ted Cruz has already said, along with Rand Paul, oh, we're going to get president's witnesses too. That's just called fairness. Fairness. And don't worry about these never-Trumpers that are also in the, whatchamacallit, in the House Senate, or sorry, in the Senate GOP. Because anybody who goes along with trying to take down this president, they're done. They're just done. I don't think Mitt Romney will ever get reelected to the Senate in Utah, unless that cabal over there that runs Utah keeps sticking him back there. But Mike Lee, Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, these people are ridiculous. Let them sit there, let them stew. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Susan Collins will lose her Senate seat if she tries to take down this president or does something stupid. I'm telling you, she'll lose. A whole lot of people lost in 2018 who did not want the president's backing. A lot of people. And they should have asked for it. But you're going to have to see this play out. After all of this plays out, then they got to agree on the witnesses. And then you're going to have depositions. I don't think the Senate wants this to go on that long. I think they want to plow through this as fast as they can. So I need you to pray for your president. I need you to pray for the House. I need you to pray for the president's defense. I need you to pray that they have wisdom and strength and courage of their convictions. But I need you to pray that the House prosecutors fail. At every stage of this, we have prayed and we have seen God answer real prayer. At every single stage, every time somebody's got something new, it backfires. And we pray, and it backfires. And we pray, and it backfires. A little faith goes a long way. Amen? So let's do that now and trust God what he's going to be doing. But he can thwart all of this. Pray for the senators. Pray for those few Democrats that are sitting there going, you know what? I don't think I want this to happen again for a really long time. Because I know there's a few of them sitting there going, this isn't cute. They have to be in their soul. They're not saying nothing, but pray that they get some convictions. At least 2 or 3 of them that go, no, we got to stop this. What would make me very happy is if out of the blue somebody puts a motion up for dismissal and they get 51 and it's over. Bye. And then you can release everything. Then the president can just declassify and release everything and blow everyone's mind. But I don't think that's going to happen. Pray for the Chief Justice that he doesn't have this all-powerful role. He doesn't. The Chief Justice can make a ruling on something, and with 51 votes, the Senate can overrule what the Chief Justice says, because it's not a legal court. It's not a court. This is not a criminal process. That's what everybody needs to understand. It's not criminal. And unless you get 67 votes, you can't remove him. So before everybody starts losing their mind, look, get your tea, get your favorite beverage, get your popcorn, sit back, relax, because it's going to be long. Now, I'm going to do my best to provide you updates and stuff. We do have a life we have to live, but I'm going to do everything I can to provide you updates and get back here and really put out some videos to let you know highlights and things from the day. I just want to thank everybody again. If you'd like to support us here at The Simple Truth, go down to the description, click on the PayPal link, and you can donate there, and I would deeply appreciate it. May God bless all of you. May God bless our president. May God bless your families. And may God bless the United States of America.